Hey, this is Mike with 4,000 Weeks, and you're watching People of Passion. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mike from 4,000 Weeks and Going Nowhere, and this is another interview with a great band, Days of Disaster, on People of Passion. Just a little background on People of Passion before we get started. I bring local and independent artists down here in my studio, Mic'd Up Studios. We get to know the band a little bit, tell us a little bit about themselves, their songs, and then we get down and dirty and we get to recording some live music. We have everything up here is mic'd, so when you get the videos back in your face, what you're hearing is what they're playing. It's a great way for everybody to get some exposure and for you guys to be able to check out some local bands. So if you have any bands or anybody else that's interested, or if you have any comments about the show, please place them below. And we're going to get to it. I want to introduce you guys to Days of Disaster. I'm going to give each of the guys an opportunity to introduce themselves, tell you their name, the instrument they play, and a little bit of the background of how they got in the band and where their sound comes from. So I'm going to let James start off.
I'm James. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Started Days of Disaster, I want to say, probably about 4 years ago with some other guys. It didn't work out. Got out of it. Was going to stay out of it until I came across Paulie here and Dan and Jason, and we're back at it now. Hopefully we'll just keep pushing and deliver some good music for you guys.
And you are a guitar for the band, correct?
Yes, correct.
Nice, awesome.
Well, I'll go.
Me? Go ahead.
I'll go. Dan Stemmel, vocals for the band, and I just happened to meet James and worked for him for a while, and then other things developed. Found out we both like music, and we're both looking for something, and here we are.
Awesome.
I'm glad you're here. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I'm Paulie Cobb. I play drums for Days of Disaster. And how I wound up in the band, ironically enough, is I met this guy here at a venue out in Fort Wayne, Indiana called Pierre's. And he was in another band, of course, at the time. Really good band, by the way. Playing drums, of course. Not guitar, playing drums. And, we just went outside and talked and, just talked about life and talked about music and stuff like that. And, we kind of we're just shooting the shit. And he was like, oh, yeah, you never know. We might end up, jamming together. You never know what the future holds. And ironically enough,
A year later,
Here we are.
a year later, he gave me a call and he was like, hey, man, I got this band. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm actually from Redford, Michigan. And he's from Toledo. He's actually from Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And then over here to our far left, we have the backbone of the band.
Yeah, I'm Jason, bass player. Known James in the Toledo music scene for probably a couple decades, actually.
yeah, easily.
And I had a project going, looking for a drummer, put an ad out for a drummer, and he responded and pulled me away from the project I was in. And here we are now.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
Well, anybody who doesn't believe in the laws of manifestation, I'll tell you.
The universe,
Yeah.
the universe weaves its web sometimes.
Things come together for a reason.
Things happen. Yeah, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Yeah, so, obviously you got four guys jamming together. You guys all agree with a particular sound. You guys want to talk a little bit about your sound and, kind of what it's shaped like, just maybe what some influences could be compared to for the audience to hear about.
Oh, my sound comes from a lot of Godsmack and Pantera.
Nice.
And some Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ozzy's a big influence to me.
Ozzy is, I think he's going to try to do one more show, they said.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they were
Black
going to do it.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
I think it's
Black
also
Sabbath.
how
Black
he started,
Sabbath show, yeah.
how he's starting or finishing up where he started. I think
Yeah.
that's totally awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff
That's
where it's like you never know. That guy could play that show and die the next day.
Oh, yeah.
He might
Got
just be
that
waiting
right.
for it. I don't know. I don't want to be rude, but is somebody like hold him up or what's?
I don't know how that's
But
going to
yeah,
work.
Ozzy is.
He's always different on
Bernie's.
stage.
You know what's going to happen.
holds
He's
himself
going to
on
get a
stage.
couple shots of adrenaline and some, booster shots.
Yeah.
And stuff up there, and Sharon's
Let
going
him
to
do like a shitload of coke for one last time. You know what I mean? Just get real whacked out and go out with a bang. Ozzy is I'm glad you said Ozzy because. I talk to a lot of like metal guys, and so many people they'll mention Pantera, Metallica,
Well, I mean,
Godsmack on the New Age, but like you don't hear Ozzy name drops
Well,
that often, and he honestly he's the fucking godfather.
He's the legend.
He's the legend. He's the one.
I mean-
He's the one. All them were following.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Black
he's the
Sabbath is
Dark
what
Prince.
Black Sabbath is what got me into music.
Yeah,
I was a huge fan of the Sabbath. A lot of 70s and even some 60s rock music is what got me going.
oh, I mean that
Doors,
guy. Yeah,
Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah.
Right.
they were the first one to really open it up. Like Sabbath was. I mean, it was like. There was like protests against the band. Like they thought they were literally the devil. You know what I mean? And but nowadays, we listen back to it. It's really not that heavy.
No,
it's in your face. But it's real tame, like you just said.
I know Bill Ward's a beast though. Anyway.
Yeah,
think
all
it
of
was
them.
their
All of
sound.
them in their own
It was
right.
their sound, really.
It's their
for that
sound,
time.
right? It's its own sound. Black Sabbath from
Yeah.
you can
Oh, yeah.
hear on another
You
planet.
can't- yeah, you
Like,
can't
Black
do it.
Sabbath, great.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't deny that.
What do you hear that for?
When you heard Black Sabbath, you knew it was Black Sabbath. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now with the band, you said you started the band 4 years ago, and you guys are about a year deep. So like
Not
with
even.
the not even a year.
But-
So with the you said months. I
5
think.
or
Yeah,
6
it's about
months.
5 months.
Yeah, so with the
Yeah,
direction
it's
of the
not that long.
material, obviously you're going to use some of your old songs. You're going to get those resurrected and everything. But do you see the band's influences or styles start to slightly change now, bringing in these other guys? I think this is a cool opportunity to like kind of. I've been in bands where same songs, but you bring on like 3 all new guys, and it's like, well, it's going to change the sound
I
a little
just
bit.
I
but-
just tell them put their parts to it. I'm not here
Mhm.
to tell them how to play your parts or nothing. Everything fits great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm lucky. Right?
Yeah.
It vibes so good.
yeah,
what I was
that's
gonna
good.
say is that he has a lot of pre-existing songs, but I like when him and I started, I don't know any of them.
Right.
A lot of them, like I don't even know words or anything. We just go off. Of
Oh,
what-
okay. So you're
what's
kind of
good.
like rewriting, like just
Right.
In a
the-
way, like we've shown some of them kind of how they want the things
Yeah,
to
like
go,
the
but they're
structure,
basically
like,
Yeah, like
but like
you.
you come in
foundations.
and throw your drum parts down. the
Every
way
piece
you
of this
want.
puzzle is a new
that's-
piece
I'm
to
not
what
here
it
to.
was.
I want everybody to put their feeling
Yeah,
in it.
because-
Otherwise, you're gonna sound like a
almost
robot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, that's a cool way to do it. I mean, but a lot of people with pre-written songs are like, "Hey, this is the song," and then it's like you
Right.
write new songs together, but the fact that you're kind of allowing everybody to come in and put their voice over these songs,
That's
I
the way
think
it
has
should
been
go.
real-
Open
That's
form.
what makes
No,
it.
yeah,
It's always
it's
been.
great though. No,
Yeah.
for sure, that's awesome.
No, because like when I first hooked up with him, we jammed together and felt each other out, of course, and then I was always saying, hey, well, why don't you send me the tracks of what you already have with your pre-existing drummer? And he was like, nope.
Yeah,
He's like, just play it the
because
way
then
you
you'll
feel
be
it.
stuck in that lane. Yeah,
That's
you'll
why
be
I
stuck.
wanted to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
program. Your
Well, here's
program.
the idea.
Yeah, and in the band I'm in, we had started with a different drummer originally,
Right.
and all the time we'll hear, our new drummer will mention like, well, the other guy was doing like something like this. And it's just like, forget that the other guy ever did anything. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're gonna do half of what he's doing and half what you're doing, and then starts the whole overthought train. It's like,
Right.
no, like you
Yeah.
said, let them put their voice on it. Like it's
Yeah.
got to fit the part, but you wouldn't have invited these guys to be in the band if they didn't already
Exactly.
fit the mold in the first
Right.
place. So that's really cool. It's like an opportunity to kind of like refresh songs, and we get better at writing songs just no matter what as you practice. So it's like even for you coming back with like older guitar riffs and stuff, you might have a chunkier way of making that sound, or just
Oh,
like
yeah,
a different
just when they
slide
put their
you
parts
come
to
into
it,
something.
I got
yeah.
filler.
Yeah, now you got to maybe
it
pick
works
up
out great.
slightly differently around his snare crack, but you like it,
Yeah,
So
it
that's,
works out
that's
phenomenal.
great.
I think.
That's awesome.
On the
Yeah,
song.
and of course, like when we're actually like warming up and like doing like little improv stuff, we've come up with some ideas where we're like, all right, we're gonna take this and and there's stuff like on the back burner that's
Oh,
definitely
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
very very cool, very cool music. It might be a little more edgier, could be a little more heavier.
That could be
Well,
just a little more bluegrassy. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't like
Exactly,
Southern rock. I like a lot of
exactly.
Southern rock and blues stuff,
Yeah.
so I want to put more of a melodic
Yeah.
part with, as far as I go, a juxtaposition against like the heavier tuning.
No, which is
Right.
cool. It's
But we
heavier
still make it
tuning,
groovy.
more punchy riffs,
There's
and
a
the
groove
melody
to it
can
that I
float
like.
on top of it. Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
like-
know how to call it, what to call it. It's just cool. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, fusion music, I mean, that's how these new genres kind of like even start to evolve. It's like, well, one guy plays like this certain kind of music, but with a little edge of this, and then you throw in a little dash of that, and then it's like, all right, well, it's different enough to kind of call it a
It's like
different
cooking.
sound, and then that influences other bands to want to do it and stuff like that as well. So it's cool that not only are you guys like kind of rewriting these songs together, and the audience doesn't know this yet, but you guys have
Yeah.
kind of spoken that like a lot of you are multi-instrumentalists and stuff like that. So it's like
Play a little
also
guitar.
cool that like you guys all kind of know different instruments. You're all kind of coming in. You said you had drums, right? You started as a drummer,
I
right?
started, yeah, the other bands I was in, I started as a drummer, and like the second band, like then I started learning how to write stuff and singing and stuff like that. So yeah, the cool thing, we all have like some kind of experience, so coming together, you don't have to
It
worry
helps
about
when
that.
you go to write music. It helps
You don't
a lot.
have to worry about that.
The,
Yeah.
Knowing
the-
everybody knows multiple instruments, it helps.
That's
so
what I'm
much.
saying. It's like it just helps kind of know where you need to fit in the pocket because like you've already been in that guy's shoes. Kinda
Where to
know
step
where-
out, where to
Yeah,
step away.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Where to step away, when to step in. So I think that's
when to
awesome.
jump in the shoes and when to jump out.
Yeah. So have you guys played any? Have you guys played any like shows together with this?
Shows?
Yeah, like an actual like
February
You guys want to
23rd.
take that? You
Yeah.
can take that away.
February
All right, so
23rd.
I'll make sure I get this interview put out by the end of this weekend so we can make sure the shout out.
February 23rd at the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan, with Scotty Austin from Saving Abel, singing Scotty Austin songs, doing his own thing, and of course our good friends, the Lion Within, Jason Kane, all of his crew. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a great time. Doors are early though. Doors are at like 6:30.
Nice. So definitely make your way out there. I'm almost positive you can get tickets online.
You can.
And these guys, it's gonna be their first show. I always like trying to catch bands on their first
Same.
show because you get to show up like 6 months later, and we all know like you progressively get better as you're on stage. So
Oh, yeah.
it's fun seeing somebody like right when they all get up there, shake off the cobwebs, and you kind of see them 6 months later when the confidence is built up and stuff. So if you are looking for a fun show to go to, definitely head out. That's next Saturday. It's a Saturday.
Sunday.
Sunday. All right.
Sunday, February 23rd.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So
Machine Shop.
each of you guys, and I mentioned this in the interviews, like not necessarily like where's the band influence from, because you're gonna get your sound, you're gonna hit your groove, and you're gonna do that. But like for me, for instance, I grew up listening to alternative music and Ozzy, and my older brother was into the whole Limp Bizkit new metal.
Oh, I was
scene,
very
so-
limited, dude. It was either
Yeah.
what I listened to or bluegrass.
Yeah,
That's what my
so-
dad listened to, and I can't stand
Yeah.
it.
So you guys.
So,
My country roads.
No, it wasn't even that. It's this other stuff. It's like ping pong pong pong.
Oh, okay.
And Joe,
Real like.
I mean, I love it, but I just couldn't take it. So,
Yeah. So you said bluegrass and what else?
just rock.
Just
Why
rock.
My mom, she's big on Elvis Presley.
Okay.
I mean, she knows every song by heart, dude. I remember growing up, she's singing every song all day long.
Oh, he was so huge. Like people from
Well,
my
him
generation
and
don't
Ozzy's
understand
what made
it.
the music where
Yeah.
it is.
Yep, it was like him and the Ozzy, and then
Prince has got a lot of influence on that too, though.
Come on now, what about
Oh,
Chuck
there's-
Berry, baby?
Yeah, Chuck Berry. All them old guys. I mean, they were like the pioneers. Like they paved like the new roads. It's like, okay, hey, you guys all want to listen to this, but I don't want to play that, so you're gonna listen to this. And then it took a minute. Like when those people all first came out, each one of them,
Oh, yeah.
they're kind of disruptors in a sense, to where like
Always.
the church didn't like them, or somebody didn't like them, or
Elvis moving his hips around.
yeah, that was moving sense. Everybody was the freaking devil back then, So it's like,
You're gonna burn!
those guys, like, they paved a way for the next guy, and then they kind of they're the road pavers, which is cool. But it's not a lot of people understand that. I think when you look back into music history, because they'll just listen to like the song itself, and I was guilty of that a long time ago with the Beatles.
That's okay though too.
With the Beatles, I'd be
Right.
like, their songs aren't special. Like, who cares? Like, I would, I'm like, if these songs were on the radio today, they wouldn't be big. And it's like, they might not be because of what we
time.
listen to today, but it's the time and it's what they did and it's stuff like that. So it's like, seeing Elvis, like growing up, and your mom's listening to a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of Elvis, like
I
that's
see
a
what you're
big
saying.
influence.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's
for sure.
like that could have been the pivoting point on what direction you took, having him in front of you or not. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Back
I
then,
agree with that,
So
100%.
it's awesome to hear that. It's like, well, your music sounds nothing like Elvis.
No.
But listening to Elvis led you down
No,
the path
no,
of
no.
It's like
rock and roll.
I
Yeah.
Or a little bit of rock. Well, I'll take the
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
take
of
a
rock.
little bit of rock, and then that led into the Beatles, and then that led into Zeppelin, and then that led into Ozzy. You know what I mean? And it all
Here we are.
here we are. So
That's why music is so great.
yeah.
But
What
like,
about-
Limitless, really.
like me growing up,
12
actually,
notes, but-
honestly,
That was many moons
Permutations
ago,
of it.
wasn't it?
many moons ago.
Yeah.
No, but growing up for me, I was actually surrounded by my parents were, kind of like music enthused themselves, and so I grew up around a lot of Motown, a lot of like
That's kind of cool.
the Temptations, the Four Tops.
Nice.
And when I was young and kind of like naive, I'd always be like, "Oh, I don't like this garbage," blah blah blah. But then I find myself as I was getting older, listening to the grooves, listening to the message.
I
And
just
that has
told him that
something
on
do
the
you
way up
think
here.
to do with like you started developing a musicianship as you get older, so
Yeah,
now
I mean,
you can
'cause it's
appreciate
like-
other musicians more. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like it's like I like everything from like Kool and the Gang to Michael Jackson to Prince, but then I like Hatebreed. I like Dream Theater. I like Rush. Much respect to Mr. Neil Peart. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest drummers out there.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so you just call that guy percussionist.
But the
yeah.
thing is it's like you should never you should listen to everything and give everything a chance because everything's good, depending on the message that's put out.
Yeah, and the time
Re-listen
and place, and and it could be you have to think of like what is good in a sense of like it doesn't have to be maybe this overall song captured your attention. I think people are so
Right.
worried about that. It's like you could take an influence from something. That doesn't mean you want to duplicate that exact same
Exactly.
sound.
But everything is borrowed.
The way that kick drum,
yeah.
the way that kick drum's laying down might be something funky you heard from a disco
Right.
song, but it's over the metal song. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, all day
And it's,
long.
so it's like
All that creative spark, it's a good thing.
yeah, growing up, I had a good diversity because like my dad was kind of the rock and roll heavier guy and stuff, and then my mom was into like she still liked the rock, but she liked Bon Jovi, and like I got into the boy bands and Michael Jackson and Matchbox 20 and all this alternative.
That's my
And
favorite.
it's like now when I write music, kind of like you mentioned, like floating like melodic bass, lines on top of a metal song, like. If you took all the background off of my song, it'd just be an alternative song. But then you turn the music on and it's like a heavy rock song, And it's like, so it's like, oh,
exactly.
well, that's where that influence comes from. So I
Yeah.
think that's very important, like you said. It's like, just explore music. Like I go down the rabbit hole. It's so great with YouTube and Spotify and Pandora
It's
and
new
all
experience.
that.
Either way you look at it.
Just experience it. Like we got plenty of time. We're driving in cars and sitting around doing nothing. It's like, just pick a different category. Use ChatGPT.
Whether
What's a
you
fun
use
category
anything-
of music to check out today?
Whether you use anything that day, it could be 10 years later, you could use something.
You might not even know you're using it either.
Exactly.
It's built in that subconscious,
Program.
It's like, where did I get that from? And it's just like one song you heard it.
That's fun when you figure it out, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes one time I figured out this song. Like, why does this sound so familiar? I did rip the song.
No, sometimes, yeah.
Like it was,
yeah.
it was the same guitaring, same vocal melody, like everything. I changed the words obviously, but it was like everything was the same, and I was like, oh man.
At least you figure it out before you put it out.
Yeah. No, it was on YouTube. I did put it on YouTube.
Oh, dang.
But I did catch it and had like 23 views, and I deleted it. But we get our influence from somewhere, so sometimes it just creeps through, and you don't know where it came from, and you rip something off. Whatever. But what about you,
It's
Jason?
inevitable.
Like your influences? I know you said
We
Sabbath.
have
earlier,
Sabbath, early Metallica, Megadeth,
Yeah.
of course. Jeez, I'm drawing a blank. Tool, of course.
Tool.
I'm very influenced by Tool.
Yeah, I
Bass-
think
bass
a lot of bass players have got a heavy influence. What do you think about Sam Rivers and Limp Bizkit?
Never really honestly paid much attention to
You
it.
know,
Honestly. No.
just for you mentioning Tool's bass, I just want to talk to the bass player. Like I want to give a shout out. Like listen to some of Sam Rivers.
No, he's a good bass player.
Because it reminds me a lot of like Tool's bass player.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
and it's
Check it
but
out.
yeah, it's bass is it's a powerful thing, but Tool's definitely known for that for sure. Have you always just been on bass? Do you have any?
I play guitar too, and
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit of drums. Started teaching myself keyboards.
Nice,
Just trying to
that's fun.
expand.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to transpose stuff back and forth between a keyboard and a guitar. It's all the same. It's
expanding your
It's a
language.
stringed instrument, so yeah. So do you guys have any plans? Like, so what are your overall, not necessarily goals as a band, but like your immediate plans right now? Like, are you guys trying to write
Trying
an
to take over
album?
the
Or are you
world.
trying? Yeah, we're all trying to take over the world. But are you trying to like
What are we
put out
gonna
an
do
album,
today?
a demo, an EP? Like,
I
what
wish
kind
I
of
could really
take
give
over
you the answer right now. I'm kind of like letting everything fall as it goes
Yeah,
to see what we really have
right.
before we jump any guns.
About how many songs have you guys been jamming together so far?
We got about
We got
9.
6 or
Okay,
7.
so you got a good
Well, we had like
if
6
we
or
really
7 in
wanted
the
to,
bucket.
9 solid.
Okay,
We
cool. So
really
you got
wanted
a
to.
good backbone to
Oh,
what you
yeah.
got going on.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. And then do
lot,
you?
I'll say a lot of it's been keeping those because the show's coming too.
Yeah.
Once that goes, it's probably gonna be.
Yeah, after this show, it's
It
gonna
gets
be. I got
lucrative.
some more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bringing to the table.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
guys plan on gigging regularly? Are you guys a band that you're going to be playing
We wanna-
month, every couple months, or what's?
I
the-
think we want to do shows that really make sense for us to do.
Yeah, just
You
don't
know,
play them just to
definitely.
play them. I mean, it's a lot of work. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, doing all that stuff, but it's just like, we just, and we discussed it. We just want to do shows that, make sense and that, fit like what we do
Mhm.
and, and not just to get, mixed in
Right.
or thrown in the bunch.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna
I've
be
done
putting
that my
stuff
whole
out.
life.
It's so much nowadays too, and then getting on stage is fun. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
I love
there's your family that shows up. It's like that's a resource you're pulling, and then it's just like to load up, and then I always say like whether you're playing in front of 1 or 500 people
Yeah.
is great, but that's if you're already there, like have a good
Well, you
time.
gotta,
If you can choose to be there or not, so
It's
definitely
like-
got to be strategic about it.
make sure you're on the right group too.
Mhm.
Heavy metal, rock, and pops is
Yeah, and
way
so yeah,
different.
no, that's
And
a
a lot of
smart
things they're
approach.
doing
Well,
out here right now.
like it
Some
wouldn't
weird
be
shows.
like it wouldn't be conducive if we played with like Cannibal Corpse.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think nowadays too, it sucks for the venues and people and people trying to get people into shows, but there's so much opportunity for you guys
Yes.
to make
Yeah.
cool content, videos, recordings. I mean, like a lot of times when people want to follow a band, they're interested in the music, but they're also interested in the people behind it. That's part of the people of passion
Absolutely.
is getting to know the bands and stuff. So it's you guys have we all have a very unique opportunity right now in the time we're in to
Oh, yeah.
we could put music out every day if we wanted to.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could just write a little guitar lick, boom, post on the internet. You can,
Make some
group up
reels,
and
some
You
memes.
that's $20 for the whole year, and I can release as much as you want.
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
Like
So,
it's accessible.
yeah, I think that's an awesome plan to just kind of play the shows that make sense and just have fun, meet up, jam out, write some
Yeah.
tunes, and record some stuff. And
My goal was always we wanted to put out something digitally to start at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a song, get them where you want.
so that being said,
A lot of it was going to be on media.
yeah. So where can people find like the info on your band, songs if they're looking for
Facebook,
them?
YouTube. I just started a TikTok,
And,
Instagram.
building
and what's the handle is
Days of Disaster.
Days of
Days
Disaster.
of Disaster
Well,
band on Facebook.
oh, Days of Disaster Band.
Yeah. Facebook.com/Days of Disaster Band. And then on Instagram, what's the handle on Instagram?
Same thing, but Instagram.
Exact same thing. Days of Disaster Band. So
Nice.
everything, Insta, Facebook, YouTube,
Plenty of fish.
plenty of fish, Tinder, all that stuff, guys.
Tinder, swipe.
Days of
swipe
Disaster
right.
Band. Yep.
Life's like
And he's the ringleader to it all.
Yes, the flower boy.
I think I'm gonna do that.
If there's
I'm
any
gonna
co-
start
if there's
a
any
Tinder for my
complaints-
band. Just have like one track.
We're not the
Just,
department.
like, you either like
And
it or
you
not
never
like
know. You never
Yeah.
know.
it. Just get all these matches, and then you send a show invite.
I mean,
Yeah,
realistically,
wait,
see that?
give me a cool-
Lucky you, you're a winner.
And
Okay.
and that's just it because you never know, what will hit and
Yeah.
what will get it done.
Well, I like
You
seeing
never
those.
know because you're who you are for
You guys ever watch those?
love you,
It's like
man, but
Omegle
goddamn.
or whatever, or what is that? It's like a video thing, and you just like
Video chat.
it's like a video chat, but you just get paired up with random people, and I'm pretty sure you got to put like the category that you're looking to. It's you know what I mean.
Oh, I see.
But
what
like you
you're
can
saying.
you can just go online with your acoustic guitar, and it'll just like pair you up. It's just like two random kids sitting in some house in Oklahoma, and they're just like, "You want to play me a song?" And you're like, "Cool." And you play them a song, and maybe they're rappers, and then they like
Right.
rap for you, and you're
Then
like,
some
"Oh,
other
cool."
kid, some other dude pops in from Australia.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like what a cool time, Like we can just share music that quick. Like I can just like,
You run into Kermit the Frog on there?
yeah, you just like end up like, and then he just
He's on
like,
Mickey
Yeah,
Mouse.
celebrities.
Don't forget about Mickey.
yeah, there's like celebrities and stuff that pop up on there. Yeah.
No, there
Well,
really,
I know this is.
no, there really is
I
because
don't
it's
think it
like
exists anymore.
while we were going through the lockdown. That's what a lot of musicians were doing was basically like Skyping with each other
Yeah.
and like jamming in the comforts
Stay
of
connected.
like their own home, their own room, their own whatever, and they were getting it done. But
Oh, well, it's fun, and it that's certain things like silver lining to every cloud, however you want to say it. Like COVID did open that up for the world.
Oh, for a lot of people.
like for a lot of people, and like it's hard to connect, like especially like if you're not into like a bar scene or something like that. Like what do? You just like go to Guitar Center. Hey, you want to be my friend? It's weird, but it's like but like with these platforms,
You
it's
play
a lot
Stairway to
easier.
Heaven too?
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't go in there and play it, they'll run you out.
But it's like it's cool. Like I'm sure I haven't done it yet, but I'm sure people have made friends through that network. And I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, I
even
have.
just
You
know,
still got to try to stay connected, even though.
well, look at the web. It's like I'm going to post this interview online. You guys are from
Well,
Ohio. You're from
physically.
Yeah.
Metro Detroit. I'm from Metro Detroit. There could be someone watching. I have people that watch the channel in California because I have friends out there, and it's just like, all right, cool. Now that like, it's creating some kind of community. So
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the
you know,
thing,
That's cool though.
the thing is in regard to being like social media and like being like a social person in general, it's just like I can't tell you, like me personally myself, like how many times I've talked to people like on like social media, like through Messenger or like through like a chat or like just like whatever, and then you'll like meet that person like at like a venue or like wherever. And that person super talkative through Messenger, super talkative through chat.
but then they're
And then when you meet them, they're like, "Hey."
yep, exactly. Which there are like
filters, ain't it?
but there's like that's a big
It's
topic.
almost
of-
like them filters.
Yeah, well, but it's like that's a big thing with like music that we've talked about in the interviews with other bands. Is like there's a lot of people who like that is how they speak. It's through their music. Like they're just not talkative.
Yeah.
They're introverted. They don't want to open up. So, but then like that same guy who barely talks is like going crazy on the drums and like, or he's like this crazy front man. But then when he's not on stage, he's like kind of in the corner of the green room. You know what I
What are we
mean?
talking
It's
about?
like that's the front
Well, I
man of
think-
that band. But it's like so it's great that. Because of all these different platforms like music, social media, like you said, like it gives people a voice. Like, and some people abuse it. They're trolls or
Yeah.
whatever you want to say. Like those people
You
just
can
suck.
also choose to-
Those people exist in real life too. They're called bullies. That's not a new thing in society. They've always had that voice.
It's just advanced to different levels.
Platform.
Now it's just savable and rereadable, which sucks. But either way, there's a lot of good that comes out of it. So it's definitely go out, check out local music, check these guys' bands out. And then are you guys?
Yeah, don't
Are
avoid
you
going.
all currently involved in just this act? I know Paul. We played a show with another band of yours, but it was like a
Yeah.
reunion thing. I don't know if that stuck around. But are you guys all just jamming with Days of Disaster right
Yeah,
now?
that's the only thing I'm doing right now.
That's all I have right now.
This is like my main thing, but I jam with like other guys and other cats, here, there, and for fun. And
Same
I-
thing with you.
I
It's
just-
Well, I do it. I'm in an acoustic duo. We do some acoustic stuff, covers on occasion.
Oh, cool. Do you
Smaller
go out and
clubs.
play shows for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
definitely.
cool.
I
What's
ain't
that
got
called?
enough time to do anything.
It's just Zach Schaefer is the singer, guitar player. I'm just
Oh, you just
backup.
like
I'm
back
just
up.
acoustic bass.
Cool.
oh yeah,
It's
That's
a
always
show.
fun though. I
It's
love
a
going.
show. I'm just there to help.
Yeah, I mean,
wish
I
I
love
had
going
time
to
to
a
do
good
something
rock
that
show,
should
but
be
sometimes
nice.
it's yeah.
I just love
Like,
to.
wow.
I just love to
Restaurant
jam
somewhere.
with like different people in general. Just to be honest with you, just kind of to stay on top of my game and keep my chops up.
It's a good
Yeah,
experience.
it is. I have a
Very
ton
good
of different
experience.
people down here now since I built a studio, and I mean, like the bass player in my current band that I'm in, he's like super heavy funk influence, something I've never dabbled with. But now I'm having to learn all these like real bright chords to like
Right.
throw over as like funk bass, whatever. But it's like just like.
Then it gets
I've always
interesting.
been a hard rock player, so it's always like, either
Right.
power chords or I'm picking something really fast or whatever. And
Yeah.
then he's playing, I'm like, well, I can't play those chords really over what he's doing. And it's like, but I'm not. Yeah. But it's like, it's like you said, it diversifies you. It's kind of
It
just
does.
starts to expand your web. And like,
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. I think one of the biggest things I kind of miss, and my brother is a insane musician, every instrument he touches, and he'd always tell me, you got to learn other people's songs, you got to learn other kind of music, and that's how you're going to get better. And I'd be like, well, I don't like learning other people's songs, I like writing my own. He's like, no, but if you learn other people's, it'll help you write better songs. And like
It's a language.
this week I was like, I'm going to start learning other people's songs so I can get better. It's like 20 years later, I'm like, man, like I probably should have listened to him when I was like 15 and he
It goes
was
a long way, though, don't
14
it?
already shredding Metallica solos,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's it. Is you just, whether it's playing with another band or playing to a different style of music, or even sometimes we just jam acoustic. It's like you get a different feel for it.
For sure.
It's like a
Fun.
different voice of everybody. So it's like definitely, I think one good topic that we've talked about here so far is like just general diversity.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily your music, but your influences, everything.
Told myself when I first started, because I started at like 32 years old learning to play the drums.
Okay.
And the music, that's when I started music.
Yeah.
So I've only I've been doing this 10 years. But that's what I told myself. Like, you got to learn to be able to
Like 100?
improvise to a certain degree, because otherwise you're not going to be able to talk to anybody else.
All right.
And I wanted to be able to
Right.
sit down and have a conversation, but that way.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, and that's awesome.
So yeah, definitely don't shy away from that. Expose yourself to everything.
So what do you
Put the headphones on and go.
What do you like more so far? I know you said you're newer to singing, and you played the drums first. Do you have an attachment to the drums? Are you?
I love playing.
What's the-
I'll always be a drummer first, but I love to write.
Do you still play the drums, or?
Yeah, I don't have them set in my house right now, but since we had the last band I was singing playing, I do miss that. But I enjoy this a lot. I didn't realize that. I never thought I could get to the point where I could actually.
Yeah.
And now that I feel like I'm getting there. I enjoy it, and then
And when I first
he's
met
brought a
him-
lot of that out of me.
Yeah, he had very, very no confidence whatsoever in his voices.
I still don't love the way I sound, but
Your people don't realize like your voice is more of an instrument than any instrument we play. Like I do vocal coaching, I don't give vocal coaching, I take vocal coaching online, and like I've always been a pretty good singer and everything, and then like honestly even realizing what I'm leaving on the table, I'm like, oh, I have a lot of training to do. Like
too much to learn.
you know, the guy that I take the
I don't
coaching
know.
through describes it the best as he talks about how like, you know, instruments for the most part, you set them up, they're pretty solid. I mean, you got to adjust your neck every once in a while,
Right.
put new strings on a guitar, maybe a knob goes out. But your voice, you could just get shitty sleep the day before, and now
yeah.
you can't sing.
Or
You could be
cough.
tired. You
Cough,
could have a
whatever.
cough. You could have just came off a flu. You could be dehydrated. You could be overhydrated. You could have eaten the wrong food before you did it. Like
you could have drank something too cold right before you
too
went on.
cold, didn't warm
Which will
up
freeze up,
properly,
yeah.
warmed up too quick, warmed up too slow, been singing too long. So I mean, that is it's good to look at it like that, you know. And it's I think it's something that's it's really important for any singer out there. I've progressed a lot with singing over the past 6 months. Don't overdo your voice.
Yep.
And understand that there are repercussions to that. I think
you
that's the
gotta-
biggest thing in singing. It's like if you overdo your voice, you have to take a break. You
Yeah.
have to treat it like an instrument. You know,
You
like
do.
I heard you
And
right over there. You definitely got some pipes on you. He does too.
Yeah, I
and,
mean,
and,
it's
and,
like,
the thing is you have just like as a guitar player will sit backstage and warm up. A bass player will sit backstage and warm up. A drummer will sit backstage and warm up and do his little paradiddles and rudiments on his drum pad. But also a vocalist.
yeah, proper warm ups all day.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'll
Vocals-
make or break the it'll make or break.
I think the
sound.
vocals has got the most like critical preparation for the.
It does because
You know
I'm
what I'm
literally
saying?
talking about it. I do like to consume cannabis. I'm not gonna lie, and it's legal. We're here in
Yep.
Michigan.
Oh my lord!
Give your opinions yourself.
But if I'm gonna play a show on a Saturday, I'm not even gonna smoke from Thursday all the way on. I want all
Oh,
that
yeah, I agree with
inflammation to
that
go
100%.
down. I want all that dryness to go down. Like it'll drive me nuts because I do like to smoke every day. But it's just like, do I want to play the show?
Unless-
Do you want to
Yeah.
be on? You give your best
Unless-
performance, or you want to sell yourself short?
Yeah,
Pretty
the
much what you
AC/DC
got to make a
voice.
choice.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
yeah,
Then just blaze all day.
then you
You know, he
then
probably
you
still
want,
had to do a
Then
lot.
fire it up.
He still had to
you
do a
want
lot
that
to
mucus
maintain
build
that.
up to be
Yeah.
able
Oh,
to sing
yeah.
AC/DC.
But yeah, it's awesome. Like hearing somebody say they're coming from an instrument to the voice because I was always like a guitar player that just sang while I played, and then it took me actually like probably 5 years to realize that my voice was an instrument. That it took practice and
Oh, yeah.
like I do sales for a living.
Learning. You can't.
Yeah.
I said I like to do it by myself earlier, and I don't mean completely.
Yeah.
Taking information from everybody because you
Oh yeah, and
you
you
have
got
to learn how to utilize all.
Oh, you'll hurt yourself for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Gotta
what
from
my
that guy-
I still don't know.
A long way
that's why my
to go on
Aerosmith
it, so.
tickets got canceled.
Diaphragm.
But I will also
Yeah.
say that learning to sing, and I don't care if you don't think you're a singer, even if you're a bass player. If you learn to that to a degree, that will also inform your other instrument.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause I know-
everything, music in general. The more music you stack on top
Will
of each
inform
other,
it. And being able to sing will allow you. If you can sing the part that you play,
Right.
Mhm.
you can play the part.
I
Yeah,
tell you what, I was gonna try to do some backos with him, and I went to go up to
You
that
will.
mic, and my
Flang,
hand would
flang,
stop. I'm like,
flang,
son of a bitch.
oh yeah,
You will.
Oh,
get
it's
Playing the drums, you give me a mic, I can sit there and sing and play the drums, and no problem. But
Leave
going,
it.
walking up to that mic with that guitar, every time I go to say something, it's like it stops.
Processing
Yeah,
power.
yeah. It's it is one of those things where it does help just starting doing it, but then later on it's
I'm
just-
only gonna do a little bit of backup.
yeah, just backup
vocals,
vocals,
yeah.
and usually those come at like the proper hits where the guitar's kind of coming down anyway.
Right.
I'm
I'm
just
just-
vocals,
uh,
you know. I
my
notice like
spots are
backups are
like-
like yeah. So you, Jason, do you do any backup vocals for the band currently?
Yes,
I
he
try.
does.
I try.
Okay.
It's,
And you do backup vocals in
Does
the
a good
acoustic
job.
gig you do as
Yes,
well?
yes.
Okay, cool. All right, great.
I'm not the best, but
I'm trying to back him up sometimes.
He fits.
Yeah.
He fits us really well.
Yeah.
His space style, all of it. He fits in really, really good.
Nice.
I'm very happy with the guys I got.
Nice. Yeah, well, you know, that being said, usually you know, there's usually a little bit more to talk about in these interviews because people have shows under their belt and all that.
This one's just down cutting us or what, man?
we're gonna have a little bit less time.
I used to like you.
Well, all right. So then, what's your favorite live experience together at a show?
I guess yours right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to skip that question and a few others. But either way, I do like to
We do
like-
have groupies though already.
Yeah, those came with the band.
We all got show experience, but as a band, this is gonna be our first show, and we're ready to come and blow the roof off.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Bring the heat.
so what's your favorite? Each of you individually, what's your favorite thing about showing up for this band? Because like usually I ask the question like, what's your favorite thing about being on stage together or whatever?
I don't know how to answer that question because I've been playing the drums for the last 20 years. I went back. I mean, I played guitar before that, but I went back when COVID hit, like we were saying, talking about. So this is gonna, you know, I'm used to being behind the drum set. So me going out here up front,
This is gonna be your first
out front,
show out front.
yeah. So my
Okay.
butthole might pucker. I don't know.
And this is your first show out front as a
Not my
singer?
first show singing out front, but in a more serious capacity, yeah.
Yeah,
I-
like
I have-
real
I've-
show. Like,
I would say I've only done it less than a handful of times before this.
Okay.
But I'm not. I don't.
And I-
I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I love
Well,
doing
well,
shows.
but
I
well,
like seeing the people. I like being able to express, you know, feelings through music and people relate to it.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
and
you can tell by the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and I'm more talking in a sense of like right now, you four guys, you practice out of Ohio, right?
Yep.
You meet up. What's making you tick? What's your favorite part of this experience so far? Like, just as a
probably
band.
the brothership we all have with each other. I mean,
what's it?
there's no arguments at all. I mean,
Well, I mean,
None,
not only,
really.
but
It's-
not only that. I mean, realistically, like a
it's
lot
just
of
the chemistry, everything.
yeah. I mean, because a lot of bands, you know, when they get together, you know, sometimes it's like everybody's like on their best behavior per se, almost kind of like a relationship,
Right.
and it's like
Best foot forward kind of thing.
you know, and it's like with us, you know, we're just who we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Just,
like he'll tell me what to do, I'll tell him what to do, and vice versa. But we do it for the better of the project that we're all
Yeah.
involved in.
There's
Yeah.
nobody's
Like I said,
defensive.
I'm not-
Nobody's getting hurt about things.
I don't tell somebody how to
Open forum, like
come
you said.
in and play the part. I don't want to be that guy because I want you to put your feelings into it.
Mm.
I could tell anybody come in how to play a part,
Yeah.
but you're gonna sound like a robot. But when they come in, it's just I don't know, the energy that gets
When we
put
buy
that-
merchandise,
that
we all
feeling
have our
around with
money.
Everybody.
Yeah. So it's just you guys keep each other coming back, and that's
Yeah.
good. You know,
The
I mean, and then
music is always the first thing.
Yeah.
The fact that I've never met Paul in my life until we started doing this.
They just
I
felt
never
like
met
they've
him
known each
before.
other for
Yeah.
a long time.
Well,
yeah, that son is right.
You come
you know.
across people that are just right, and it just happens that we all speak the same language of music.
And the way we all
And you
got
can do
here,
it.
like me and him hooking up, and wait, we ended up hooking
We
up.
went through
It's
10
just-
drummers before him.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just the whole scenario, how it all started. It was meant to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
there's no evidence.
Yeah, when it's
about it.
natural like that, and I'm gonna try my best to find bands that have that. So far, every interview is I've asked the band that, and that's what keeps them
Well,
coming
if
back.
you're-
Is each
if you
other.
ever get a band together and you got it, if you find it like that, you need to hold on to it because it's
Yeah.
hard to find.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
really
it
hard
did,
to
well,
find.
you did say that. It is a relationship.
Yeah,
It is.
It's
Totally.
a different kind of
It's a
relationship.
lot of romancing.
Yeah,
But it's a different kind.
it is, and it's
Look, I
it's,
got him smiling already over there. I love you too, Jason.
yeah,
No,
no,
I'm
that's
just-
great because at the end of the day, you got to have fun with it, and it's like it is time. There's a lot of stuff to do in the world.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we get to pick from. So to pick this in particular, you got to be enjoying yourself.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to want to be around each other.
And it's
you
like-
have to appreciate what everybody brings to the
I
table.
like hearing these guys pick things apart. I mean, something I'm doing, like pick
Yeah,
it apart a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes it's like it's
How can
like
it get better?
it's like it doesn't matter if it's like Jason's idea, his idea, or my idea. It's
Works,
like
it works.
well, the thing is it's like we'll go through it and try it, and if it feels good and if it feels right, we stick with it, and if it don't, then we don't.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
there was just the other day, we sat here and listened to one of our songs, and I come up with this idea where I wouldn't even come in on the snare on the offbeat, do a drum roll.
Mm.
And when he was done, he'd come back in on the offbeat like you're supposed to. It sounded dope with
Yeah.
just the music.
Yeah.
And we put the lyrics to it, not so much.
No.
It kind
Yeah.
of busted the lyrics out. And he's the one who said it, then he heard it, then I heard it, and it was so quick to say it ain't gonna work.
Yep.
And it sounded badass with the music.
Yeah.
It just
Nobody was
wouldn't
like,
go
"Oh, but
with
I
the
wanted
lyrics.
to do it."
You got to
Yeah.
serve the
There's a
songs.
song.
And
You
it's
gotta serve
always
the songs.
like that. I mean, nobody really, it's nice.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's another
Maybe
thing.
we're talking about something that people already talking about. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's another thing too. And it's just like, and another thing is like with this project, with a lot of owner projects that I've been in, whenever we got to do anything, like do a sponsored ad, buy some merchandise.
It's
do
so nice to
everything.
have people to have a job.
Yeah, we all have money together,
There
which
you
is
go.
a first.
We
We
I
actually
think for
work
all
and
of
we
us.
carry our own weight.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
ain't
gotta
playing
be
somebody
like that.
else's guitars or
That's
instruments and
one thing.
claiming.
It's something to
Right.
learn how to do some of that. So the other thing it's helped me do is I know I got 3 other guys that have to rely on me. We were sir.
Yeah, we all rely on each other.
That's it. And so
One of
I
you
got to
doesn't
show up
it
for them.
doesn't work. You know
I
what
got
I
to
mean?
show up for them because we all want to do this. Eventually, I'd like to do it as a job if I can make it. But
Yeah. it'd be
Well, we're
nice.
gonna make it, brother.
that's what we all want to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I read a really cool book. It was I think it's called The Six Figure Musician. So if anybody is looking into reading on music, it's a really good one. There's a good audiobook too. But you know, he was talking about like the math of it. It's like, well, if you want to be a six-figure musician as a standalone musician, if you had 10,000 fans that you were able to make $100 worth in sales to, or 20,000 fans that you sold $50 worth in stuff to, that's 6 figures. So it's like, you know, the math isn't, you don't need to have millions and millions of fans. You could
No.
make a living off music with 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 fans. Like,
Yeah.
are you going to be famous or
You don't have to be on
rolling
the
around in
radio. I don't even worry
Lamborghinis?
about
Probably
that.
not,
Just-
but you know, it'd be a great way to make a living. And you could be in a band and also do maybe some live sound or, you know, this or that, or do some studio work and make a good living and follow your passion. So
And you want real fans,
yeah.
not bots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's,
No, there's so many people out there that, you know, and I'm not, you know, like throwing no names or nothing, but
well, I've gone on accounts that had like 80,000 followers, and like all of the followers were in like Chinese.
right.
And I'm like,
Or they had like 80,000 followers in like 1 like and 2 comments.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's yeah, there's
Sorry.
yeah, so we'll definitely, you know, keep at it. Anybody watching, these guys are a new band. We'll together as
Days of
this.
Disaster Band.
Days of
You
Disaster
can find
Band
us
on all their
everywhere.
social media.
February 23rd.
February
Machine
23rd,
Shop.
the Machine Shop.
Scotty Austin, The Lion Within. Doors at 6:30. 18 and older.
So
Roof
good
is
at that.
coming off by 9:30.
You're so
Yeah.
good at that.
And this
By
isn't going to be the last
9:30?
you see of them here at People of Passion. I want to do People of Passion where the first interview is like, hey, we get to know the band and stuff like that. Then maybe the second time they come through, it's more storytellers based on the song. So where did the lyrics come from? Where were you
That's
guys when you
cool.
wrote
That's
it?
a cool idea.
That way it doesn't make it to where we're just like having the same band, same interview. It's going to
I also want to tell you guys for having us up here doing this.
Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
Very nice.
Definitely.
It's
It's,
awesome.
it's a privilege, man. I put a lot of work into this studio
Okay.
and
Next time maybe we do some acoustics.
yeah, well, that's what I was saying. It was going to be
next time-
like this style first, and the second one was going to be more storytellers with the live, and then the third time was going to be unplugged.
Need to go
So that way I can get
with
3
those,
sessions out of the same band. For you guys watching, you'll see some other like already acoustic done sets down here.
They do it.
I have a grand piano down here, a
Speaking
bunch
of
of
my
cool
dreams.
sticks and
Oh, my
candles and all that. So definitely stay tuned and keep following People of Passion for more content. We got
No
these
bubble
guys
bath.
dropping, and their
No
interview will
bubble
be
bath.
out by the end of the weekend. And then we already did Faded. It's a huge local band. I'm gonna
Great
be putting
band,
their
great
stuff
band.
out. We have other people already lined up to come back in here. So,
Yeah.
you know, like and subscribe, share. We all say it, but it's for a reason. It actually helps us out. I am doing this all for free. All of the equipment that I use, I had to provide myself. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. So
He's
the
a
more you
person
can
of
help get it
passion.
out there. Yeah, I do it because I'm passionate, man. And
We
that's
appreciate
where
you,
it
though.
started.
Yeah, we
Was is just, you know, I go out to local shows and I hit up some buddies. Hey, let's go to this local show. Oh, it's snowing. Oh, it's this. Oh, I got to work in the morning. It's like, you know what? Let's bring the local shows to the people. You know, it's not going to be a full local show, but you get 2 songs. We're going to make some cool music videos. We're going to be doing interviews, and People of Passion isn't just for musicians. So if you know anybody that you want to see spotlighted on this show, just put it in the comments below. But I'm talking anybody who's passionate, artists, sketch artists, painters, people who do gardening, any kind of things with plants. I'm involved in all of that kind of stuff. So
Artist.
definitely, yeah, any kind of
draw.
artist. Drop writers, authors. Drop a comment below. I'd love to get you in here. I'll find a different platform to show off other kinds of art.
Photographers.
Yeah, photographers as well.
Everything.
And we could do galleries, and we could set up down here as like gallery style and do some photography. So definitely, Appreciate you watching. We're gonna get set up and get to rocking with these guys.
We got two songs we're gonna play, and those two songs are
Denied.
and
I don't know. What's the other? Batter up.
Denied and Batter Up.
Batter Up.
I knew that, so you couldn't point at me. I hope you got it right.
I'm still kind of
Wait.
confused because you touched my nipple right on the
Yeah.
spot, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we
Anyway.
got to make it PG-13.
I got it right.
And
I'll
grow.
blur that up.
So
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
thank you for watching. I'm going to continue making these videos, writing, producing, recording music.
Yeah.
It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I'm going to do with my 4,000 weeks. What are you going to do with yours?